Well, good morning, sunshine. It is sunshining here. It's a nice cooler day. I think in the 70s, which I don't know if that's probably around normal for Washington this time of year. Uh, yeah, we got a little colder yesterday and no sun, so the sun makes it nicer. I'm a little overdressed with a turtleneck underneath it, but I'm an old guy, so I get cold easier. I don't know if that's blood thinning or what happens with aging. Yeah, but I want to know. I want to tell you about an article I was reading today in the Washington Post about people who are quitting their jobs and what they're doing about it, and why they're quitting their jobs. I mean, we have, what's called a pandemic for job quitters. We have more jobs available than like ever before, more people unemployed than ever before, and they're still quitting their jobs. I mean, there's something about people need more than what they thought they needed only, and they're quitting it and not putting up with jobs like they used to before. Let me read you this, okay? There's a tendency in this country to believe that when people are struggling, it's because they don't follow the rules. They don't study hard, work hard, get a college degree in your 20s, stay the course, retire at a prescribed age, and don't complain. But workers who are quitting their jobs in what's called the Great Resignation, more people resigning now, are discovering that the normal rules don't apply equally or to every situation. Below are some of the lessons they have learned from these extraordinary times, distilled from hundreds of letters from readers. So this is a columnist. She gives work advice, Carla Miller, and she's taking a snapshot of all her letters of people who are pissed off at their jobs. That's why I never liked working for anybody. I always worked for myself, good or bad. Anyway, here, a new attitude on job hopping. Anthony of Bedford, Maine, has job hopped for most of his working life since dropping out of college at age 30. And he is now 30. So he dropped out of college, now 30, started a bunch of jobs. In March 2020, he was hired as a forklift operator in a company warehouse. For the first year, he said in his email, "I enjoyed working and believed that if I continued to give all to the company would give their all to me. But this summer, a heat wave pushed the temperatures inside the warehouse above 130 degrees. He and others suffering from heat exhaustion were written up for not meeting production quotas." So you're working in 130 degrees and they write you up because you're not meeting your quota. He was hospitalized for heat stroke and suspended for missing work. So he has to go to the hospital and they suspend him job. He had been working 60 to 72 hours a week on forced overtime. "We were promised it would end at the end of August," he said. "Instead, the company laid off 25 employees and continued mandatory overtime for the rest. That was a final draw for me. I quit. It was the best decision I ever made for my physical and mental health," he says. Since then, he has been working gig jobs. Remember, I keep telling you about the gig economy. You got to look at that thing. We got a nice report that overwhelms you with all the stuff you could do for there. He said he and his girlfriend are focusing on day-to-day instead of a longer-term future. It's a complete flip from how we were living a year ago. But if you ask both of us, we are under way less stress and have better functioning relationship than ever. While an inconsistent employment record was something to avoid before the pandemic, detours and short tenures are viewed as more understanding now. Everyone gets forgiveness for job hopping during 2020 and 2021, says the life coach called Resume Day. Told me in her email, almost every resume I'm reading now is a transition resume. People looking for their first position post-pandemic job outside of what they did before 2020, or transitioning out of a pandemic bridge job. So they took something during the pandemic, now they said, More people are making a living and conduct job searches today. Looks nothing like 2019 and earlier, she posted. So it's a whole new ball game out there. And what you think that is not acceptable, to do in the job market or something, man, it doesn't. Training may not be needed. Okay, this is an interesting thing about people who are taking training courses to get a better job. And I think this is very important because I show you how to get free training courses. Multiple readers told me they're enrolling in coding academies and boot camps to earn software certifications. But when money and time are limited, you should investigate whether the lesson is likely to be worth the investment. That's what I say. Doug, a hiring manager at San Francisco startup, whose full name is being withheld because he is not authorized to speak publicly, said that when his company posts offerings, the jobs are basically flooded with applications from people who often have low experience, often graduate students of coding academies, coding schools. From what Doug has seen, there are waves of job seekers looking to quickly trade up into well-paying fields, mostly looking to do remote work at home. See, that's why I think there's easier ways to do that and cheaper ways to get the training. Employees offer limited numbers for good slots, so there's really few slots available. So here's what she's recommending. Do your research before diving into a certificate program, particularly one that's going to cost you money, to confirm that the program is up to date, accepted by your target industry, and valued by employers. Unless you know that training is the best means to a specific end, and especially if it requires time and money that you cannot easily spare, consider investing in broader skills that would transfer into a variety of fields. So in other words, what I would do is look at the jobs you now want to take if you don't have the transfer, if you don't have the skills, and ask them, these kind of employers, would they hire somebody like you who came out of a coding academy or whatever, these boot camps. That's what you want to know. Why invest all the money on the time based on, you're basing your decision to spend that money on the training based on somebody who's selling you the training. Now that's stupid. You can't do that. They got their money, and that's what all these for-profit colleges do. They're basing basing your career earnings and everything about people who want your money. I mean, maybe take that as a clue, but don't take it as honest assessment of what the hell you could do. You talk to people who are going to hire you, or you talk to people who have the same thing for free, like your local community college and things like that, or other nonprofit training programs, not the people that are charging you all this money. So that's it. Okay, here's another situation where people are quitting. Workers are increasingly likely to leave when the concerns are not addressed. Helen had repeatedly complained about overwhelming workloads at her job in North Carolina publisher. The project editors would beg for help. Our supervisors would say they would respond, but no improvement would ever occur, and the cycle repeated endlessly. She said in her email, when Goldhurst, that's her name, Ellen Goldhurst, got an offer for a Virginia publisher, she set aside the anxieties that relocation would be stressful. I am very glad I made the leap, Goldhurst said. My new colleagues treat me feel valued. Michelle Kirby also landed let me go to the next page, battery low, go to a better place after quitting her job as a restaurant manager at a Las Vegas casino. After filling in for 8 months after filling in for 8 months as a hostess, cashier, food runner, and performing other duties to make up for staff shortages, then when the restaurant cut hours, all while dealing with a belligerent customer, Kirby begged for increased staffing as businesses improved, but she was told the restaurant couldn't afford it. You have it easy. Other managers have to cook too, Kirby said she was told by her boss. So Kirby quit. Now working at Target in Las Vegas, she said she has no regrets. This great resignation is going through is not because of pay rates and salaries. It's because people are being stretched too far. Here's the best one I like. Loyalty goes both ways. One top reasons workers are feeling their job is managers who emphasize hierarchy over humanity. In other words, people don't care about being human. They know they're the boss. For James, an Iraq veteran studying for an MBA in Texas, the decision to quit his project management job was triggered by management excessive demands and lack of compassion. In the end, my old company showed me that they valued control, or the illusion of it, more than welfare of the employees. James told me in an email. James, his full name is being withheld to protect his family. Although his team was delivering good products on time while working remotely, James said managers freaked out every time their Microsoft Teams status showed the yellow, meaning that they were away from the keyboard. The last straw, James said, was when his sons contacted COVID-19 and he needed to be at home to look after them while her wife cared for an infant daughter who also was sick. Instead, James quit. And that's the story, and that's why it's so neat that people have been able to reevaluate their lives, what's important to them, and that's another thing why the gig economy is important while you look for other things. The gig economy is a great way for you to make money. Right now, you could start making money tomorrow if you have a car. Any kind of car, it doesn't matter. There's so many people, maybe not 99% of the country, but actually in 90% of the country, you could get they didn't need drivers so badly. And you don't have a fancy car to drive people. You could have a shitty car to drive lunches around, or go shopping for people. And there's all kinds of jobs like that. And there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of them. If you don't believe me, just go to gigs.indeed.com, gigs, G-I-G-S, .indeed, INDEED.com. And if you remember, just ask for my report. Man, I got dozens of how-to jobs to be everything from just speak English to people, be an artist at home, be a freelance photographer because you like to take pictures, and you don't need credentials. You don't need anything to do these things. Do tasks for people. Just do odd jobs. And you work only when you want to. It's freedom. It's no commitment, and it's money real fast. You want to work in a restaurant tonight or a party tonight? Yeah, get $100. Just sign up and do it. That's the kind of thing that's going on out there. So there are opportunities, and that's a way to earn income while you're studying or doing something else, or trying to start your own business or whatever. So it's a good way to have something in between while you're trying to build out a new career for yourself that will be meaningful for the rest of your life. Make sense? A little bit? Maybe? You never know. You just gotta keep trying stuff. That's the key. If you're not trying, you're gonna be dying. Ooh, all right. Copyright that sucker.